Dark Shadows, number 71, VTR 32767, Air 41067, take one.
My name is Victoria Winters. Two men have come to Collinwood, two strangers. That they are there is strange. And the men themselves have a strangeness, each in his own terrifying way. But what is strangest of all is their effect on one woman in particular. What do you think? Will it be all right?
I'm sorry, Vicky. I guess I wasn't listening. Will what be all right?
Will it be all right if I let David stop using the text and pick his own reading? He's gone way beyond the text anyway, and this way he'll be able to pick his own rate of acceleration.
Acceleration?
In reading.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, you know whatever you decide is fine with me, Vicky.
I just want to let you know what I'm doing.
Well, thankful. That's very thoughtful of you.
Mrs. Stoddard,
Yes?
is there anything I can do?
Do about what?
Well, I'm not quite sure, but you seem to be so worried.
Nonsense. I'm fine. You're the one who seems worried.
No. I'm not worried. I'm frightened.
Frightened? But you have no reason to be frightened.
I can't help it.
All right. Maybe Mr. McGuire's friend Willie did let himself get a little out of hand.
Carolyn had to use a gun to keep him away.
Isn't it possible that Carolyn let herself get a little more upset than was necessary?
No, she's much too cool for that. If anyone could handle a situation like that, it would be Carolyn.
All right, Vicky, I know that too. But I've talked to Mr. McGuire, and nothing of this kind will ever happen again.
Mrs. Stoddard, when I said I was frightened, I didn't just mean that I was frightened of Willie or Mr. McGuire.
Well, then what are you frightened of?
What frightens me most of all is you.
Me?
I don't mean that I'm afraid of you. I mean that I'm frightened because I feel you're in some kind of trouble.
I'm in no kind of trouble.
Then what are these men doing here?
Mr. McGuire was a friend of mine many years ago. I've told you this. And as a favor, I'm letting Willie stay here. How many times do I have to explain?
I just can't believe that you'd have friends like this.
Vicky, that's enough. This is my house, and if I choose to have guests, it's nobody's business but mine.
Of course.
And
I'm sorry.
I wish you'd stop asking all these questions, all of you, unnecessary questions.
I'll try not to ask them again.
Apparently it's high time I did start having guests at Collinwood. The minute there's the slightest interruption in the routine, you and Carolyn and Roger don't know how to act. It's a good thing to have new people, different people at Collinwood. I'm sorry, Vicky. I'm not myself this morning. Forgive me.
Are you sure there isn't anything I can do for you?
Positive. I'm all right. I shouldn't have talked to you that way.
Oh, that's all right.
But try to understand. Everything is all right. There's nothing to be frightened of. Nothing to worry about. Please, Vicky.
I'll try. Is there anything else?
No. Thank you for telling me about David.
Saw a guy in New York a couple of weeks ago. Looked just like him. I mean, the way he's dressed. With the big tie and the long hair.
It takes all kinds, unfortunately.
Well, of course, he wasn't nearly as elegant. He was a beatnik.
Oh, you better not let Mr. Roger hear you say his ancestors look like any beatnik.
Might not like it, huh? I have to remember that.
Yeah, you better.
Of course, what the guy in New York was really missing was a pin like that one. One on the coat. Must have taken a lot of digging to come up with those diamonds.
Yeah, they should have left him in the ground. A good heart and a clear conscience are the only jewels worth having.
Yeah, but what if you don't have them? The good heart and all that.
You'd do well to get them,
What if you'd rather have some like that pin?
and you're probably worth past saving.
Yeah, I guess so. This guy here, was he past saving?
Judge not, lest ye be judged.
And the ring, and that thing around his neck. I bet they were worth saving.
Oh, you can be sure that they got special attention. The Collins family was never known for its set of values.
But they could value something like that, huh?
I wouldn't be surprised.
They'd really hang on to stuff like that, huh? Well, I'll bet they still have that pin. And the ring, too. You want to bet?
I'm not a gambling woman.
Come on. You know better than that. I bet this family's got enough jewels stashed away somewhere to buy half a continent. Have they?
I guess so.
Come on. I said you know better than that. Well, I'll bet you've even seen them.
No, now there you're wrong. I've heard about them just like everyone else. But seeing them is another thing.
Collins jewels are a legend by themselves, is what I heard.
Well, that's what they say.
And what else do they say?
Once I heard,
What? Go on.
I didn't hear anything. I'm too busy to listen to stories, much less tell them.
What did you hear? Tell me.
I didn't hear anything. And if you're smart, you'll get your mind on something else besides rings and jewels and things like that. You hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I heard you.
Shall I put these things in a bag for you?
No, thanks. I can manage.
I didn't realize I still had them in the back of my car till I had my tires rotated. What's David been doing for a raincoat?
Oh, he had one that he'd outgrown. It served its purpose.
Hell, I sure wish you could have seen his face, the expression on his face, when the plane landed on the lake and taxied up to the fishing lodge. He grinned so much, I thought the top of his head was going to come off. He's a great kid. It's a pleasure to be with him.
Yes, it is.
All right, Vicki, tell me what happened.
What?
That creep, Willie, what's he done?
Willie?
Well, the way you're acting, he must have done something.
No.
What about his friend, McGuire? What's he up to?
Nothing.
You wouldn't lie to a guy, would you?
No.
Unless you thought he was asking questions that are none of his business. Is that it?
No, not really.
Then what is it? They must have done something. Tell me. What are those jokers up to?
Carolyn had to use a gun to keep Willie away.
What?
She said it was the only thing that stopped him.
Is that true?
I'm afraid it is.
Well, then there's only one thing to be done.
What?
Tell Liz.
She knows.
Well, what's the problem? She gave him his walking papers, didn't she?
No.
What?
She told Mr. McGuire about it.
She told Mr. McGuire about it. Are you kidding?
No.
And that's all she did?
Presumably, Mr. McGuire spoke to Willie.
Well, the next thing you're going to tell me that Carolyn had to apologize. What's going on up there, Vicky?
Burke, I wish I knew.
I just can't believe that Liz would allow something like that to happen and do nothing.
She did speak to Mr. McGuire.
Well, that's next to nothing.
Maybe Mrs. Stoddard is right. Maybe we do lead such a sheltered life up at Collinwood that we let strangers upset us when they haven't really done anything.
Do you believe that?
No, not at all.
Now, come on. Let's go.
Where are we going?
To Collinwood.
You can't go there?
You just watch me. Come on.
But what are you going to do there? You're not going to have a fight with Willie.
No.
Please.
Not a fight. Or at least not the kind of fight you're thinking of.
What do you mean?
I'm not going to see Willie or his oddball friend. I'm going to see Liz.
You can't do that.
I can, and I am.
But Burke, if you talk to Mrs. Stoddard about Willie and Mr. McGuire, it'll just get her more upset.
Well, I can't help that. It sounds to me that Liz is caught up in something, and I want to help if I can.
She won't talk to you. I know she won't.
Well, it's worth a try. You ready?
I guess so.
Come on.
Burke.
What?
May I ask something?
What?
I thought you and Mrs. Stoddard were enemies.
We are.
Then why do you want to help her?
Well, let me put it this way. If anyone does her in, I want it to be me.
I have no intention of continuing this discussion. And I wish you'd try to remember, Burke, that you're not exactly welcome here at Collinwood.
I know.
Well, then will you please leave?
Liz, I didn't come up here to ask you any questions or to tell you what to do.
Then why are you here?
I came to tell you something that I know.
I'm not sure I'm interested.
Please, Mrs. Stoddard. He's only trying to help.
I don't need any help. And I must say, Vicky, I'm rather annoyed with you.
Sorry.
Well, it's bad enough that you consider it necessary to discuss what happens at Collinwood with outsiders, but to go to Burke.
She didn't come to see me because of that. At all. She didn't want to tell me anything about what's happening up here at Collinwood. I had to drag it out of her. And for your information, she tried to stop me from coming here.
Well, if you won't follow her advice, then perhaps you'll follow mine. Now, I suggest that you leave.
Not until I say what I came here to say.
Then say it quickly.
Liz, there is a very dangerous man living in this house.
Really?
I'm not kidding, Liz. I've seen this guy in operation. If Vicky hadn't been there, I hate to think what would have happened.
Is that what you came to tell me? That you and Willie almost had a fight? Really, Burke?
Well, it wouldn't have been an ordinary fight because he's not an ordinary man. He's dangerous.
Well, thank you for your information. And now may I say goodbye?
Liz, if you're in trouble...
The only kind of trouble I have is with people like you, who try to interfere in things that don't concern them.
But Liz, I want to help. I know that's hard for you to believe, but I do.
Why would you want to help me? You've always hated me, you know that.
I don't hate you, Liz. It's the Collins family and what it stands for. That's what I hate. Please, Liz, you need help. What kind, I don't know, but I want to give it if I can.
And I repeat, I do not need any help. All I need is peace and quiet.
Okay, I give up. But you can't say I didn't try.
I'll get your coat.
Burke,
Yes.
thank you.
What for?
Your offer. You meant it, didn't you?
Yes.
I'm sincerely grateful.
You mean that too, don't you?
Yes.
Will you please let me pass?
And not if you don't say the password.
Haven't got time for games.
Well, who says I'm playing a game?
Look, either you let me pass or...
You don't give me a chance to apologize. Yeah, that's all I want to do. Apologize.
Will you please let me pass?
What's the rush?
I am.
Hey, it's Big Man. Hey there, Big Man.
All right, Willie, that's enough.
Sorry, Mr. Stoddard. I take it back. You're not a big man.
I'm big enough to tell you something, and you'd better listen.
Burke, I thought you were leaving.
Stay away from Miss Winters. Far, far away. You got that, Willie?
Miss Winters? You mean Vicky?
Listen, punk.
Willie, please leave.
Sure. A good thing the lady's here. Or you might have got yourself hurt.
Burke!
Don't, please!
Take your hands off me.
I will. As soon as you understand what I'm saying.
I think you better take your hands off me.
Please, both of you. I won't have this. I won't stand for it. Burke, you were leaving. Now, please go.
Please, Burke. Fighting won't help anything.
I'm not so sure.
Neither am I.
Burke, let go of him. I mean it. Let go of him right now.
Please.
Don't forget what I said.
I never forget a thing.
You still won't change your mind about my offer to help.
Why? Why should I change my mind?
But you just saw with your own eyes.
What? Two men with terrible tempers?
You saw more than that.
When you see Willie, why don't you just let him alone?
Liz, I can't believe what you're saying.
Why? It makes sense. You're both looking for a fight.
But you saw the way he was treating Vicky.
You're making too much of nothing.
Did you think it was nothing? Or maybe I'm the one that's crazy.
Burke, maybe we should just forget it for now.
Forget it.
Vicky's right. It's not that important.
Nobody but me knows the Collins pride better than anyone. But this is carrying things too far.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're turning down my offer of help out of pride.
I am turning down your offer because I don't need it. Will you please believe that?
Well, then will you let me put it another way? Maybe there's some reason for you to put up with this guy, but think what you're doing to Vicky. Think what you're doing to Carolyn.
Please, I can't listen to any more of this. When will people start leaving me alone?
That man has something on you, doesn't he?
No.
Him and his friend, McGuire.
No,
right?
no.
That's why you're acting this way.
No, they're not. Please, they're not making...
Liz, I beg you, let me help. For your sake. For everyone's sake.
No, just leave me alone, all of you. I don't need any help. I don't need any help.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.